Which Decepticon in Transformers has the weakest close combat ability? 4th, Soundwave. In Transformers 3 on the Chicago battlefield, Soundwave was in charge of guarding the captured Autobots and personally directed their execution. When it was Bumblebee's turn, a Decepticon spaceship nearby was made out of control by Wheelie and Brains. After it crashed, the battlefield was in an instant chaos. Bumblebee seized this opportunity to rush forward and grapple with Soundwave, suppressing him in close-quarters combat. Then Bumblebee lifted Soundwave, placed his hand cannon into Soundwave's chest, and fired a shot that penetrated Soundwave's upper body. Soundwave is indeed very capable in terms of intelligence, infiltration, and control. However, this close combat encounter shows that his close combat ability is really poor. 3rd, Starscream. In Transformers 3, Starscream was shuttling back and forth over Chicago in the guise of an F-22, and human fighter jets were helpless against him. But when Sam hooked his head with a grappling gun and hung on his face, Starscream lost control immediately. He was blown up by Sam before he could make an effective close combat response. So, in the air, Starscream is a nightmare on the battlefield, but when it comes to close combat, his handling ability is quite limited. 2nd, Shockwave. In Transformers 3, Shockwave was rampaging through Chicago with his pet. The whole street was reduced to ruins, and human tanks and artillery couldn't stop him. However, in the second half of the battle, human paratroopers landed near Shockwave directly from the air by parachute. Using explosives and heavy firepower, they forced him to retreat step by step. In the footage, he could be seen almost unable to raise his head due to the bombings. When Optimus Prime re-entered the battlefield, he quickly defeated the already weakened Shockwave. Judging from his performance throughout the battle, Shockwave's deterrence mainly comes from his weapon platform and his pet. Once he is targeted by concentrated fire and attacked at close range, his own close combat endurance isn't remarkable. 1st, Devastator. In Transformers 2, Devastator is definitely one of the characters with the strongest visual impact. But if you look closely at his combat performance, when facing the Air Force in the sky, he could only endure attacks with his large body. When facing the twins on the ground, he just swung his fists randomly. Finally, the fatal blow to him didn't even come from the Autobots, but from an electromagnetic railgun fired by a distant warship. Throughout the whole battle, he didn't even get a chance to engage in a hand-to-hand fight with the main characters up close. So, although Devastator seems like a close combat monster, in actual combat, he moves too slowly and is too big a target, making him the ideal target for long-range firepower. Do you agree with this ranking?